Hurry up, Kevin. Are you late for school?
Dad, have you seen my bag?
It's in the car. Where are you going now?
Got my dinner tickets.
Jesus. Where did you get this?
It's just a replica. Smith & Wesson Model 10 and a police revolver. It looks quite realistic.
It's too bloody realistic, if you ask me, Kevin. Do you know what people have these for?
I don't know.
To scare people. You can say goodbye to this.
Dad, it's not mine. Terry Johnson gave it to me. I swapped him Super Mario.
I do not want to know. Now shut the door and get your belt on. I haven't got all day. All right. Good morning, Sergeant Martin. What's good about it? My day off, and it started with me having car problems. All right. Everybody back! Now! Everything you got. Drop the guns! Your pigs!
It was just after 9:30 last Monday when the two gunmen burst into the Wessex National Bank in the small town of Kings Markham. Detective Sergeant Caleb Martin was shot dead as he attempted to stop the raid. He was off duty at the time. Pictures from the bank's security cameras have been used to make these photo fits of his killers.
Caleb Martin.
No wonder he preferred to be called Martin.
I always thought what a poor piece of psychology it was on Shakespeare's part when he said, "The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones." It's the good things we remember.
One would hope so.
Martin was a good man. It makes me so bloody angry I can hardly see out of my eyes to think of that kid shooting him down in cold blood. Who's next?
Michelle Weaver.
Right.
Well, like I said, I was mainly worried for my baby.
Did you notice anything peculiar or strange about the boy who shot Sergeant Martin?
I remember his face as he turned towards us. It was like he was drugged. Not all there.
Go on.
Then he pointed that gun at us. It almost looked like a toy.
A toy?
I've never seen a gun like it. Mind you, I've never seen a gun before, not a real one.
Then what?
Then he fired and dropped the gun as he ran out to the bank.
You say you dropped the gun?
Yes. Like some kind of mafia assassin. You remember in The Godfather?
Oh, yes.
Are you sure you dropped them?
I saw it skid across the floor. Well, at least I think so. It's difficult to remember.
Could it have been Detective Sergeant Martin's gun that you saw?
Pardon?
Well, Detective Sergeant Martin dropped the gun he was holding.
You see, we only found one gun at the scene of the crime. And on the video, the boy shoots, and then he runs out, but he doesn't drop the gun.
I saw the boy throw it down.
You saw it skid across the floor. Sergeant Martin's gun skidded across the floor.
Were there two guns skidding across the floor?
I don't know. I only saw one.
The boy had it in his hand, but he didn't drop it.
Did you actually see the gun leave the boy's hand?
I'm not sure. Well, put it like this. I wouldn't go into court and swear I saw it.
There are two cameras. From this angle, we see the tills. They come in. The boys put the gun down. He picks the gun up. Fires it, and he definitely doesn't drop it. Front door of the bank. The first man goes out. The boy goes out, and he certainly hasn't dropped the gun. We know exactly what they look like, and yet no one knows who they are. They have no records, nothing. Still, I'm sure we'll find them. They'll slip up. I know they will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll track them down. Just a matter of time.
Dad?
Sheila!
Are we too early? There's hardly any traffic.
Never too early for me, darling.
Come on, he's waiting inside.
Right.
Dad, this is Gus. Gus, Dad.
Mr. Wexford.
Gus, pleased to meet you. Sheila tells me you've been shortlisted for the Booker Prize.
Well, I scribble a little.
Would I have read anything that you've written?
I doubt it.
Dad loves reading.
So I see.
Yes, I think if I had been a detective, I think I might have been a novelist.
Well, I'm sure as a detective you've had to be far more creative than I'll ever be.
Well, I'm sure we've all got our own stories to tell. Perhaps you'd like to hear some of mine one day.
Me? Write a detective story? No, I leave that sort of thing to the craftsman. I'm an artist.
Good evening.
Evening.
This way, please.
Good grief. What's this?
Where do you want to sit, Gus?
I shall sit here. Where I can see the circus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Incredible.
What's that, darling?
No fewer than 8 women in this room are wearing pearls around their necks.
Well, everybody wears them here.
So it seems.
Rachel bought me these for our 20th wedding anniversary.
Interesting. Pliny the Elder tells us that these chitinous formations are the most sovereign commodity in the whole world.
I always think they look so grown up.
Maybe because they're so expensive.
No, Sheila's right. It's more to do with age. There are so many silly superstitions attached with concretions. Older women used to believe, and no doubt still do, that such necklaces would restore their lost youth.
Oh, do stop showing off, Gus. We all know you're a genius.
God help us if we're going to call everybody who's shortlisted for a Booker Prize a genius.
I couldn't agree more.
They're all dead. They're all dead.
Where are you?
Help me, I'm bleeding to death.
Tell me where you are, the address.
Cheriton. 45661.
The address, please.
Tancred House, Cheriton. Help me. Please help me. Make them come quickly.
How far have we come from the gate?
2.3 miles, sir.
This is the police! Open up!
Jerry, somebody take the other side. Break that window, will you?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Sergeant Fine.
Help me, please. 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 Help
roadblocks set up on all the roads out of here when the call came through. She said they were all dead. It sounded like a massacre.
Did you get out of them?
No, we must have been too late.
How bad is she?
Well, she was conscious, but she was pretty bad.
And did you speak to her?
Yes, I had to. There were 2 of them got in, but she only saw one, and she said it was just after 8 when it happened. That's all she could give me.
Do you know who this is, Sergeant Ryan?
No. I mean, no, sir. Presumably he's a bloke round the house.
Mr. Harvey Copeland. Former MP for the Southern Boroughs. And husband to Davina Flory. You know who she is?
Yes, sir, yes, of course.
My guess is they heard sounds upstairs. Harvey Copeland came to investigate, and that's when the shooting started. The others are through here.
Has Dr. Crocker seen the bodies yet?
Crocker's not available tonight, Reg. We've got Dr. Basil Summerquist.
Oh, no. So this must be Davina Flory.
Strange. Just bought her new book. Her autobiography.
Oh? I didn't know that Davina Flory was your sort of thing, mate.
I bought it for Jenny.
Oh. This must be the daughter.
Naomi Jones. Gunshots must have made a hell of a din.
Are there any other houses on the estate?
I've sent Carla and Jerry to have a look. Didn't pass anything on the way in.
Dear, oh dear. How the mighty are fallen. I suppose that's her.
Yeah, we think so.
You finished?
Yeah.
I've heard it said that all women, when they get old, turn into either goats or monkeys. She was a monkey, I'd say, wouldn't you? Not a sagging muscle to be seen.
Just his way of dealing with it, Reg.
At least when I kill him, Crocker will be doing the post-mortem.
2 houses, a couple of minutes up the road. The Harrisons, Ken and Brenda, the housekeepers, and John Gavitas, woodsman for the estate.
Good.
I wasn't certain what to do, sir. I had to tell them the bare facts. It seemed to have come as a complete shock to them.
No, you did quite right.
Well, I said someone would be along within the half hour, sir.
Where are these houses?
Oh, around there.
Oh, how far to walk?
About 10 minutes or so, I'd say.
Well, I think I'll walk round there.
Inspector Bowden, we found something I think you should have a look at, sir.
Okay, lead the way.
Jerry.
There's another way upstairs, sir. Oh, and the back door was open.
Any prints?
Oh, they're just checking. I think they were up here, sir.
This must be Davina Flory's bedroom.
Jesus.
They killed 3 people for some jewels.
People have been killed for less, sir.
Daisy was Davina's granddaughter. Her name was Davina too, so she was sort of Davina Florey the younger, if you see what I mean. But they called her Daisy.
Not was. She's not dead.
Oh. Well, I thought the policewoman said they all were.
What time is it when you last saw them?
7:30. I finished cooking, put it on the heated trolley and left it for them. Davina liked to be eating by 7:45. It was always the same.
Was it the same tonight?
It was always the same. I wheeled the trolley in at 7:30. They were all there then. Then I went out the back, like I always do.
Did you lock the back door?
Oh, no, of course I didn't. Bib was still there.
Bib?
Oh, she helps out, comes on her bike. She was doing the freezer, said she'd be finished in 5 minutes. Oh, my God, what about the cat? They didn't kill the cat, did they?
Well, not that I'm aware of.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, thank God for that.
Round about 8 o'clock, did you hear a noise? Shots or a car?
A car wouldn't come past here. The road ends here. There's just the main road in, and then the by road.
Oh, which by road?
One that comes out from Pomfret Monacorum.
That's the way I came home.
What time was that?
8, 8:30. I didn't see anyone, if that's what you're asking.
Are you sure?
I didn't meet a car or pass one or anything like that. I've been copsing a wood near Stoughton all day.
Brenda and I didn't hear a thing. There wasn't a sound. You can never hear anything at the house from here. All dead? Do you say they were all dead?
No, Ken, you weren't listening. Daisy's still alive.
I wonder if you'd give me Bib's address and her other name.
Do you know, I can't remember it. I got it written down somewhere.
Funny they didn't finish off Daisy, too.
Sounds like they tried by all accounts. I mean, she's pretty badly injured, isn't she?
Yes, Mr. Capitas. She is.
No, me first.
You enjoying it?
Yes, I think so.
Think so?
Well, she's got a lot to say about people, but you know this is only the childhood part of her life. It's almost as if you want 12 volumes instead of just one. What's wrong?
Oh, bad day, that's all.
Why? What's happened?
Tell you about it tomorrow. I don't know.
What?
I don't know what's happening. Since Fine took Martin's place, it's as though everything has changed. Fine says the world is changing. And we must all change with it or die.
Well, Davina Florey would certainly agree with that.
Maybe she was right.
It's your turn.
Ah, sir. New computers.
I thought I just got used to the old ones.
Yeah, but these are patched to satellite link-up, sir.
Really?
Yeah, look, check this out. Got access to Interpol, NYPD, LAPD, FBI, you name it, sir, we got it. The world is now our oyster.
Good.
Very impressive.
It was Georgian leaded glass, it was.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Mr. Harrison.
I said it was Georgian leaded glass, that was.
No doubt it can be replaced.
At a cost. The back door wasn't even locked.
Come on, Mrs. Harrison. No point staying in here. Are you all right?
I'm not going to pass out, if that's what you mean.
I just want you to tell me what's missing, Mrs. Harrison.
She was 16 years older than him, you know. She was a very old woman.
Really?
That was his room. They didn't sleep together. But you'd never call her old. She didn't seem to have anything to do with age. She was just herself. It'd be all right if I started to clear up now.
Yes, we finished in here. If you could just tell me what's missing.
Well, she didn't have much, you know. Well, I'd say that anything that was worth anything's gone.
Like what?
Some good pearls, gold bracelet, rings. Oh, one with a large diamond she was thinking of giving Daisy for her 18th birthday.
Oh, when was that?
Soon. Next week after.
Only, thinking of?
Well, I'm telling you what she said, and that's what she said.
What do you think happened here last night, Mrs. Harrison?
Me? Well, how should I know?
You must have had ideas. You know the house, you know the people. I'm interested to know what you think.
Oh, don't be so silly, Queenie. You know he won't hurt you while I'm here. She wouldn't let me have a pet.
I'm sorry?
Davina. Well, like I say, there was no side to her. All of us was equal. I mean, that's what she said. But I wasn't allowed to have a pet.
I see.
God knows what will become of us all now.
How do you mean?
It's not easy starting afresh. I know I don't look my age, but we're none of us getting any younger, are we?
You were going to tell me what you think happened here last night.
What do I think happened? Well, I expect they got in, came upstairs. They'd heard about the pearls, maybe the rings. There's always bits in the paper about Davina. Anyone would have known there was money here. Then Harvey heard them, went to come up the stairs after them, and they came down and shot him. Then they had to shoot the others to stop them talking. I mean, stop them telling what they looked like.
Certainly a possibility.
What else? Well, I'll be able to have a dog now. Whatever becomes of us, no one will be able to stop me having a dog now, will they?
Excuse me, sir. Oh, hi. King Markham CID. We're looking for a Miss Bibb Mew. Does she live here?
Yeah, she lives right next to me, right here.
Oh, thank you very much indeed, sir. I believe you work on a part-time basis at TANCRED House. Were you there yesterday afternoon, Miss Mew?
Yeah.
Doing what? What work do you do?
We call it roof.
You do the rough work. I was told that you were cleaning out a freezer.
Freezers? They got 3. Saw it on the telly, I couldn't believe it. They was all right yesterday.
What time did you leave for home?
They'd started their meal.
So that they were in the dining room?
I heard them talking and the door shut. I put me bits back in the freezer, switched it back on. My hands was froze, so I put them under the hot tap for a bit. I got me coat, and then I went to fetch my bike.
What time was that, about 10 to 8?
I reckon.
How did you get home?
On me bike, of course.
No, I mean, what route did you take?
The by road.
And did you see a car on your way home?
Car?
Or a van, like the one next door?
That one?
No. Any vehicle. Did you see any vehicle on your way home?
No.
You're sure?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get home?
It's downhill on the way home.
How long did it take you to get home last night?
About 20 minutes.
And you didn't see a car? Not even John Gavitas in his Land Rover?
Does he say I did?
No, he doesn't. Could you show me the road that you take to get to the by road?
There. That road.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
It's all right.
We hope to talk to Miss Florrie later on today. She was shot by one bullet, which miraculously missed any vital organs. She has lost a lot of blood. Miss Florrie has lost her mother, her grandmother, and her grandfather. So we are trying not to push her too far.
Jason Sherwin, Coram Seabright, King's Markham Chronicle.
Yes?
Are you any more likely to find the men responsible for this than those guilty of the bank shooting?
I'm sure that both crimes will be solved. Sergeant Martin's killers will be found, as will the Tancred house killers.
But it's getting on for 7 months since the bank killings, Chief Inspector.
More like 6, but I'm not here to answer those sort of questions.
Isn't it a fact that statistics show the longer time goes by, the less
Next
likely...
question, please.
Yes, was anything else stolen?
We have a full list of the things missing. £30,000 worth of diamonds and gold were taken.
Do you think there's a connection, do you?
Well, what did ballistics come up with?
Was 5 rounds being fired from a 44, from a black powder revolver, sir.
Well, Martin was killed with a 44 caliber. Pretty sure the ballistics mentioned black powder then, too.
Do they match?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Odd, though, isn't it? They used a handgun in both murders. I mean, a shotgun is usually the order of the day.
Yeah, but that doesn't connect 2 crimes.
Well, the probability of it being the same weapon, sir, works out to be 535 to 1, sir.
How'd you work that out?
Well, you see, what it does is, it looks up all the previous crimes and where they were committed.
Don't tell me.
It?
Don't tell me. Sergeant Martin's killer will be found, as will... I have nothing more to say.
Look, that's very unfair. You ought to give priority to us. Support your local sheriff.
That means you supporting me, not me feeding you facts.
Look, come on. I only started at the Chronicle last week. The point is, I know Daisy very well. I could do an exclusive on her.
Do you like her?
Yes. Everyone at school liked her, especially the boys.
Then you should leave her alone. She's a very sad young woman at the moment, and she doesn't need you to exploit her. Now get off my car. Now boast thee death, in thy possession lies a lass unparalleled. Daisy, you know who I am? I'm a police officer. Detective Chief Inspector Wexford. I'd like you to answer one or two questions, if you would. If that's all right with you. I'm going to record them. All right? We'll have to go back to Tuesday night. Just tell me where you heard them and what time.
They were upstairs. We were eating our dinner. We'd got to the main course. My mother heard them first. She said, "What's that? It sounds like someone upstairs."
You didn't hear them arrive? You didn't hear the sound of a car?
No. We would have heard a car arriving. We were expecting a car. Well, not then. Not until 8:15, only she's always early.
Who?
Joanne Garland. She was coming to see Mum. She always comes to see Mum to do the books for the gallery. They run in town together.
Joanne Garland.
She lives over the gallery.
Thank you. So you heard them upstairs. What happened then?
Davina, my grandmother, said it was the cat.
The cat?
She's a big cat called Queenie. Half Persian. Sometimes in the evening she rampages around the house. It's amazing what a racket she can make.
Go on.
Harvey went out of the room. We heard the shot. And then another. It was a terrible sound. Really terrible. My mother screamed, and we all jumped up. No, I jumped up, and my mother did. And I sort of started to go out, and my mother shouted, "No, don't." And then he came in.
He? There was only one?
I only saw one. I heard the other. I didn't see him. I only saw one. He had a gun. He came in. All right. He came in. Davina was still sitting there. She never got up. She just sat there with her head turned towards the door. He shot her in the head, I think. Then he shot my mother. After the shots, I heard the other one getting a car started outside. I think I can describe him.
Good. Very good, Daisy.
What I could see of him. He was, well, not too tall, but thick-set, heavily built, very fair. I mean, his hair was fair. I couldn't see his face. He had a mask over his face.
A mask? Like a hood or a stocking over his head?
I don't know. I just don't know. I've been trying to remember because I knew you'd ask me, but I don't know. All I know is that he had fair hair. Shortish and thick, quite thick fair hair. Maybe he was wearing a mask like the sort people wear in smog or when you use a chainsaw. I could see his chin. His eyes.
Oh, please, you don't have to tell me now.
No, I want to. I want to tell you. Do you have children, Inspector?
Yes?
Boys or girls?
2 girls.
Well, they're not safe. As long as he's alive, they're not safe. I want him caught.
Oh, we'll catch him. Don't you worry.
He shot me. I don't know. I don't remember. It all happened so fast. 10 minutes, that's all. That's all I can remember. He shot me. Oh, my heart. My heart hurts.
How is she?
Who are you?
I'm Nicholas Furzon. I'm a friend of the family.
Well, she's a very sad girl at the moment. She needs all the support that she can get.
Well, do you have any idea who did this?
No, it's too early yet.
Of course.
Say you're a friend of the family's?
Yes, a close friend. Especially close to Daisy.
Does Daisy know that you're here?
Yes, I've been here since dawn, but they wouldn't let me see her. Is she going to be okay?
I hope so, Mr. Furzon.
Thank God for that.
Hello.
Evening.
You heading back to the house?
I am.
I couldn't buy my lift, could I?
Yeah, jump in. What time did you say you got home on Tuesday night?
8:20. 8:25. It's the nearest I can make it. I didn't think I'd have any reason to be precise about it. I know I was back in my house when the clock struck the half hour.
Do you know Miss Bib Mew, who works at the house?
I know who you mean. I didn't know she was called that.
Miss Mew left the house about 10 to 8, and she got back to her own cottage at Pomfret Monacorum at about 10 past 8. She used the same by road as you. I'm surprised you didn't see her.
I met no one.
Where had you been?
I told you, Copsinger Wood near Stourton.
Good. The car the killers came in can't have used the by road, or you or Bib would have seen it, right?
Right. So they must have used the road we just drove in on.
Oh, we already had a roadblock on the main road. Is there any other way out of here?
Through the woods, you mean? A jeep could make it if the driver knew the woods. You'd have to know them like the back of his hand, though. There's so many dips and whatever. I wouldn't be able to do it. Could you stop here? I've got to get some things from the workshop.
When did you start working here?
May.
Who looked after the woods before you?
Some people called Griffin. A couple and their son. The son was grown up. He had a job in town.
Well, why did they leave?
Old Griffin was getting on. They had a place to go to, somewhere they'd bought. I don't know much about them.
The Harrisons, I imagine, would know more.
They weren't on speaking terms.
Oh, why?
Brenda tells me they insulted her.
Hello.
I really don't know. You'll have to ask them. Do you want to go out? Come on, then. Come on. Out you go. Strange, all of you being based in Daisy's place.
Sorry?
The stables. They were her sanctuary. She spent hours in there on her own, doing her own thing. Have you seen her since Tuesday night?
Yes.
How is she?
Well, she's a very sad girl.
But she's going to be all right, isn't she?
Yes, we hope so. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Gavilas. We'll speak again.
Anytime.
Evening, Governor. Oh, evening, Kenny. Nice to see you back.
Remember, this is Gus's treat.
Oh, I am grateful.
Saturday, Reg, relax. Gus is so stimulating. Fascinating about Pliny, wasn't he? I feel as though I'm learning so much from him. I really don't know what he sees in somebody like me.
Oh, really, Sheila? What a bloody awful basis for a relationship.
One of the guests here just asked me for 2 dry martinis. Do I really look like a waiter? Wow. I told him they were coming up in a Birmingham Italian accent. So, have you caught Davina's killer yet? You know, I met her on several occasions.
Oh, really?
I only liked one of her books, the one that got all the bad reviews. The Host of Maidens. She and her cardboard charmer husband came to the shindig Carlyle and Quick threw for my novel. Oh, her publishers and mine were all owned by the same people these days. Yes, yes. What on earth made her think she could write a novel? I've never met such a bossy, didactic old cow. However, she was honest enough to confess that she had never read and had no intention of reading my novel, unlike the rest of the leeches that were present that night. This plonk is disgusting. Take it away and bring me another bottle. Of course, Davina was a virgin throughout her first marriage. Desmond had never been able to get it up. Or not with Davina. Oh, no, really, please. Take this away. Take them all away and bring me the manager.
Gus knows how this food should be. Believe me, he's an expert.
Thank you, love. But really, we'd have all been ill if we'd eaten that lot.
What seems to be the problem, sir?
The seafood must be fresh, not defrosted. Fresh.
Sir, the seafood was caught today.
Are you telling me I'm wrong?
Sir, this is Nouvelle cuisine at its finest.
Sir, your chef has about as much idea of Nouvelle cuisine as a school dinner lady. Naomi was, of course, spawned by whoever could actually bring themselves to copulate with Davina. Certainly not Desmond. I don't hazard a guess. Probably that gentleman over there. Oh, dear me. He looks rather like Naomi, don't you think?
Dora, I'm leaving. Coming with me. You and Sheila can do what you like.
Where's your sense of humour, old chap?
Dora?
Please, Pop, stay. Gus will be quieter. I promise. Please, for me.
Of course, we should be celebrating.
Oh?
Well, didn't Sheila tell you?
No, what?
Oh, she's been offered the part of Miss Julie at the Old Vic.
Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
If you think I'm actually paying for that, you're mistaken. I have been gastronomically abused. You're very lucky I've decided not to bring legal action.
Gus is paying.
No way! I have never in my life had such a pile of execrable rubbish placed before me. And if you think I'm actually paying for that, you can think again.
Please, Reg, just pay it and let's get out of here.
I'm not paying. It was Gus's idea. It has been Gus's evening. And Gus is paying.
Quite right, Reg. Let them call the police. I'm sure any judge will agree this place is a health hazard and have it closed down.
Perhaps Sir would like us to call a taxi to take him home.
Thank you, that won't be necessary. You're a terrible man.
You have a wonderful daughter, Reg. And I'm a very Very lucky man.
Of course, Gus is so modest I have to do his bragging for him.
Did you hear that, darling?
No, I was drifting.
Gus is going to Nevada.
Nevada?
Yes, some university's named a library after him.
It's a library of his manuscripts called the Augustus Casey Archive. Well, they really appreciate him.
The Nevada desert, where they do the nuclear tests.
Not anymore, I hope.
Shame.
I'm thinking of writing my next novel there.
Oh, good, Gus. Excellent. When you going?
About time. They said you'd be here yesterday. We need our phone.
Are you Mrs. Margaret Griffin?
Of course I am.
I'm Detective Inspector Burt, King's Markham CID. I was wondering if I could talk to you.
Well, what about?
I understand that you and your husband both worked at TANCRED until recently.
Yes, we work there.
I have quite a lot of questions, Mrs. Griffin. Would it be okay if I came inside?
Well, okay. But I am expecting someone from British Telecom. Terry! It's the police, not the phone man. Well, come on, if you're coming in.
I was wondering if you might know anything that could help us.
Like what?
Well, I understand you weren't on speaking terms with Mr. and Mrs. Harrison at the time you left.
Oh, I knew it. You said, Andy, didn't you? He said, it'll come out now, he said, for all Mr. Harvey, Labour, Copeland's promises.
They'll smear poor Andy after all this time.
What did they say?
They haven't told us anything yet.
Well, I must have said something.
No.
Scum. And they were all scum. They deserve to die.
Andy?
Perhaps you could tell me where you were last Tuesday night.
I was down a pub with my pals. You can check if you like. I was there all night.
We will.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Miss Florrie.
Oh, Daisy went home today.
Went home?
Are you Chief Inspector Wexford?
Yes.
Oh, she left a message that she'd phone you. Her friends came for her. Her boyfriend, I think. Mr. Verson?
Nicholas Verson.
Daisy's resting, Mr. Wexford, but if you want to come in and wait, she'll be up soon. I know she wanted to talk to you.
Thank you.
I expect there are things you want to chat to me about, aren't there?
Are there?
Well, you know, my son wants Daisy to be engaged to him.
Really?
Do sit down.
Thank you.
Yes, Davina Florrie didn't care for the idea. She had some silly notion about Daisy having to lead her life before she settled down.
Well, what did her mother think?
Oh, really, it wouldn't have mattered what Naomi thought. Naomi didn't have any opinions. You see, Davina was more like a mother than a grandmother to Daisy. She wanted Daisy to be an academic.
Is that such a terrible thing?
Well, it would have taken her until she was 25. And then she was supposed to write her first book. I'm sorry, it just seems ridiculous to me.
I can't see that marriage would put a stop to that. But I do understand that you do want your son to marry Daisy.
Oh, yes, I do. She's such a sweet girl. And clever, of course. And good-looking. I'm sorry, I shouldn't like my son to marry a plain girl. And, of course, the poor little thing is madly in love with him. You've only got to see the way she follows him about with her eyes. She adores him. And she's so sweet to me. And she has such nice manners.
And she's so rich.
Oh, that has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with it.
are, dear. Mr. Wexford wants a word with you.
She means well, but she's enough to drive me round the bend. Tell me about you, Mr. Wexford. What are your daughters like? Have you got people that remember your birthday? I wish I had a father.
Surely you do have a father.
I've never seen him. Mum and he were divorced when I was a baby.
Would you like us to contact him?
He lives in London. I don't mean I wish I had him. I mean I wish I had a father. Have you spoken to Joanne Garland yet?
Actually, I was wondering whether you could answer some questions about her.
I don't know her very well. Davina didn't like her very much. She didn't think she was good enough for us. She thought Joanne dragged Mum down into a quagmire of the commonplace.
What did your mother think?
Oh, Mum didn't care. You have to realise Davina surrounded herself with dull people and spent most of her life complaining about it.
Mrs. Garland hasn't come forward, and she's been missing since Tuesday. I just wondered if you could tell me how close she was to you.
You don't suspect her, do you?
Would you?
No. No, it was a man, I told you. It was a man.
Can you tell me anything about some people called Griffin?
They used to work for us.
And their son, Andy. Have you seen him since they left?
I did see him once, in the woods. I was walking in the woods and I saw him. He was near the by-road where the walnuts are. He may have seen me, I don't know.
When was this?
Last autumn sometime. October, I think. Frightened me seeing him like that. I didn't tell anyone he was trespassing. Davina would have hated that. I didn't tell her.
Could he be the other man? The one you didn't see, the one who started the car?
I told you, I don't know.
But is there a possibility?
Could it been? Can I say there was nothing to make me certain it wasn't? That's all I can say. I wish there was someone I could pour my heart out to. I'm so alone. If only I could open my heart to someone. Someone who loves me. I want to go home.
Is that wise?
That night will always be with me. A pain in my heart, so I might as well be there.
You're talking a lot about hearts today, Daisy.
Because he tried to kill me in the heart. He aimed at my heart, didn't he?
In grief for the great tragedy of the 11th June. These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die.
Excuse me, Mrs. Harrison.
Well, what now?
Would you mind if I asked you some more questions?
Not if you don't mind walking back to the cottage.
I'd like you to tell me about Andy Griffin.
Well, he's very creepy. I mean, I know I look a lot younger than I am. Well, people are always telling me. So maybe I shouldn't have been surprised that Andy got fresh with me. But I was. When he touched me, I nearly jumped out of my skin. I was in the kitchen, having a cup of tea, and he came in. So, of course, I gave him one. Not that I like him, don't think that.
What do you think about him?
Don't you know? You've met him.
I'd like to know what you think.
He's evil. No, he is. Look at his eyes. He had the same eyes when he was a kid. Evil eyes. They wouldn't let Daisy play with him. He'd scream like a wild animal. Tantrums, terrifying screams. God knows what was happening.
This would be when he was, what, 4, 5 years old?
Yes, that's right. But it got worse. He turned into a creepy, peeping Tom of a teenager. I caught him once peering in the bathroom window. Our bathroom's on the ground floor. And he was just watching me. Waiting.
It looks as if he's fallen upstairs.
Sir, no one's seen her since Tuesday and the shop's been closed. Her relatives don't even know where she is. We got this off her mother, though.
Good. Joanne Garland, eh? Well, I think she's either been taken or murdered by the killers.
Andy Griffin tried to rape Brenda Harrison.
What?
Well, that's what Brenda says. According to the Griffins, she made advances to him. Then, apparently, Andy tried to blackmail the Harrisons, saying that Brenda had seduced him. But Brenda told Davina Flory. And so, in order to keep us out of it, Davina said that the Griffins had to go.
Well, we better get Andy in.
We will. I tell you, it was a really nasty piece of work. He openly said he was glad about the murders. They deserved to die.
It's time for the news, sir. Sir, should we get a warrant for Joanne Garland's flat?
Hampshire police have today issued a photo-fit picture of a man they're looking for regarding
Reg?
inquiries into the TANCRED house massacre
Should we get a warrant?
that took place near King's Markham
Oh,
last
yeah,
Tuesday. Police stress that he may be armed.
I know that
and members of the public should
I think he looks rather like Dan Dare. Remember him?
thinks they have
No.
seen this man or who knows him.
Daisy has a boyfriend, Nicholas Verson.
62
Picture looks like Nicholas Verson.
56.
Hordes of glitterati here. I'm going to do a piece called The Friends of the Great Woman. Even if I get 9 refusals out of 10, I should still get 4 exclusive interviews.
I'd rather have my job than yours.
I'm half American. I spend my vacations with my mother. If you think this is tacky, you ought to see their TV. Last year, I saw 3 guys being shot by the police on TV. For real. Imagine if you had a camera following you day and night, Chief Inspector.
Service is about to begin.
Let Daisy arranged all this. She's really good at drama.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Ishbel McSamphire, my dear. Last year in Edinburgh. With Davina?
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Poor Davina, she wasn't even a believer, was she? God bless you, and if ever you need anything, please get in touch with me.
That's over, thank goodness. I thought I might burst out crying or faint, but I didn't, did I?
No, not you. Were you looking for someone who hasn't come?
No, whatever gave you that idea?
What about your father?
My father? Maybe. Maybe that's who I was looking for.
Why isn't your father here?
I don't know.
Not very enlightening, was it?
Oh, I don't know. Didn't Graham Greene say that every novelist has a splinter of ice in his heart?
What, you mean maybe Daisy's following in her grandmother's footsteps?
Maybe. She was definitely looking for someone.
Joanne Garland, perhaps?
No, I don't think so. Have you tracked Andy Griffin down yet?
No, he's disappeared. Sergeant Vine has been asking his friends about him. Although they saw him in the pub that Tuesday night, no one saw him before 9:30.
So he doesn't really have an alibi?
No.
Joanne Garland, Andy Griffin. I wonder if there's any connection between them.
2 sets of keys, a checkbook, but no cash or credit cards.
Have you found her passport?
Well, not yet.
Sir.
Yes?
I think you should hear this, sir.
Joe, this is Naomi. Oh, I wish it was you sometimes, not always that machine. Can you make it 8:30 tonight and not earlier? Mother hates having dinner interrupted. Sorry about that, but you understand. See you.
That was the last message, sir.
Good grief. Scooby-Doo.
Reg, it's Mike. I thought I ought to ring you. Royal Oak Prison, just outside Crewe, have been on the line. They've got an inmate by the name of Jem Hocking who wants to talk to us.
Never heard of him.
Well, he's heard of us. It's about Martin.
Well, can't you tell it to the local police?
No, apparently he's very ill. He thinks he's going to die. And, he says he'll only talk to you.
Well, I'll go tomorrow.
He was arrested 3 weeks ago, near Kenneth. He's a drug addict. A very sick man, Chief Inspector Wexford. He's here on remand. Over there.
Chief Inspector Wexford. As you can see, I'm dying. No more room to stick my needle. No blood. I want to tell you about Dame Bishop.
Dame Bishop?
Dame Bishop. Dame Gavin Bishop, 24 years old, died 2 months ago. Overdose. We did the bank job together. But you knew that as soon as you saw my face, didn't you?
More or less.
If you'd caught it in time, we might both still be alive today. Coppers. Never there when you want them.
Dame Bishop used the gun. Where'd he get it?
Are you asking me?
Where did he get it?
You know as well as I do you can get a shooter when you want it. He never said. He just had it. A Colt. A Colt 44. He took it away. Threw it down getting out of the bank. Scared to be found with it. Dane was as weak as water. That's why I shot that stupid copper. Too weak to be... Too weak to keep up against the pressure.
Why are you telling me this now?
Because... the world is helpless against a dying man.
I wouldn't be too sure of that. There's nothing in the law that says I can't charge a dying man with robbery and murder.
You wouldn't.
I certainly would.
Sir, they're here, sir. Can you see me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, now start moving towards the door.
Tell me when I leave the first shot, yeah?
Now, you've disappeared. Now go on moving towards the door. See, a blind spot. No wonder.
There. You're in there, Sergeant Vine. Now, mark it.
It's about 12 feet, sir. I remember they're moving quite fast, but I think it's enough.
Well, we found no gun.
Someone must have picked it up before we came in. Someone who didn't come forward. Someone who was standing in that blind spot.
But you wouldn't pick up a gun without a reason, sir.
Oh. Generalized bias towards law breaking?
In case it might come in useful one day.
Right. Let's look at those tapes.
Yes. Sir. Chief, I'm ready. You see, sir, what we can do with this, we can enhance whatever part of the shot we actually want to see. There. I've slowed both tapes down. They're running together. You see, on the right, the first one's getting away.
Stop there. Back a bit. There. Move in on him. It's Andy Griffin. Just follow him.
And let's see.
Go wide.
Where is he? Where is he?
He's picking up the gun.
There. There it is.
What are you looking for? I mean, maybe if you tell us, we can help you.
A gun, Mrs. Griffin. A handgun.
Andy wouldn't have anything like that.
We'll have to search the rest of the house. Call the others in, will you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no.
We have a warrant.
Andy wouldn't do anything like that. He couldn't.
You won't find anything.
If you could just tell us where he is, Mrs. Griffin.
We've already told you we don't know.
Andy's a grown man. If he goes away, that's his business. He often goes away.
I think you should know, Mrs. Griffin, that we asked Andy's friends if they saw him that Tuesday night. No one saw him before 9:30. Andy must know the TANCRED estate very well.
Well, of course he does. He was a little lad of 4 when he first went there. And that girl, that granddaughter, she was a baby. Now, you'd think it would have been normal for them to play together, wouldn't you?
I suppose so.
Andy would have liked that. Let her play with him? Oh, no. He wasn't good enough for her, was he, little Miss Precious? I mean, there were 2 of them there, and they weren't allowed to play together.
So did Andy never go into the house, then?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, he used to go sometimes with me, when I used to help out before the Harrisons came. Mind you, I don't think he went there after he was 10, like. He didn't want anything to do with them. He didn't care about them.
When he goes away, Mrs. Griffin, how long is he usually away for?
Oh, it could be 2 days, a week.
Well, if he comes back, will you tell him we'd have to see him?
Of course I will, but he's done nothing wrong.
No, sir. Can I have one of you lads down here, please?
I tell you, he's done nothing wrong. He wouldn't harm anyone. He's not like that.
I think you should talk to your father.
Sheila?
Yes, I've told her she should speak to you.
Sheila?
Mum's cross with me. I expect you will be too. I've turned down that part.
Miss Julie? Well, I suppose you know what you're doing.
God knows if I do or not. The fact is, I'm going to Nevada with Gus. Hello? Dad, are you still there?
Sheila, do you think that's wise?
You made up your mind to hate him before you'd even met him.
That is ridiculous. Never do that, and I never will.
There's always a first time.
Sheila, I just think that you're making a big mistake. Now, please.
I know why you hate him. It's because you can see that I really love him. I'm in love for the first time in my life, and you're seeing red.
We're not talking about love. We're talking about common sense and rational behaviour. You cannot turn down the best part of your life just to tag along to the middle of nowhere with that... Don't abuse him. I couldn't abuse him. That meretricious, loudmouthed drunk.
My God, whatever I've inherited from you, I'm glad it isn't your tongue. Now listen to me, Father.
Father? Father? Since when have you called me father?
All right, I'll call you nothing. Listen to me, will you? I love him with all my heart. My heart, understand?
You're not on the stage now, Sheila. If you go on like this, frankly, I doubt if you ever will be again.
Has it occurred to you how unusual it is for a daughter to be as close to her parents as I am to you and Mum? Have you ever wondered why?
No, I haven't wondered why. I know why, because we've always supported you, even when you left Andrew.
I never loved Andrew.
Now, you listen to me. We've spoiled you to hell and back. We've let you trample all over us. And when I summoned up the courage to confront you and tell you a few home truths about you and that ugly little Shoed... Sheila! Sheila!
Reg!
What does she see in him?
She loves him.
You'll take my daughter away from me? If he and Sheila are together, that's the end of me and Sheila. She will cease to be my daughter.
Good grief, Reg, you should listen to yourself sometimes.
All right, Dora.
Now just calm down.
I'm going for a walk. I'll be back.
Oh, I think that's Mummy. You sit here with the book. Oh, go on. Mummy will be here in a second. Don't worry. Reg.
I don't want to disturb you. Well, did you find the gun at Andy Griffin's house?
No, we didn't.
Well, I told you you wouldn't.
Come in.
I don't want to disturb you.
No, it's all right. Jenny's at her evening class. Those tankards, see they're identical? This third one. It's an interesting illustration in economics. The ones you've got, Jean and I bought on our honeymoon in Innsbruck for 5 shillings in 1971. This one, it's a good deal smaller, and in my opinion is not such a good piece of work. Jenny and I bought it in Kitzbühel while we were on holiday there last summer for £10.50. Now, what does that tell you? What's the matter, Reg?
Everything.
I'm sorry?
We've no motive. Nothing. I don't believe that robbers murdered 3 people for the sake of a lousy £18,000 because that's all the jewellery is worth once it's been fenced.
Well, yes, that's why I'm convinced it was Andy Griffin. The man's unhinged. He's dangerous.
Well, it couldn't be Andy Griffin. It's just not his style.
Do we know what his style is?
Well, he's not a mass murderer. Mass murder. I never thought I'd hear myself using that word in Kingsmarkham.
Well, you have. Fine ran another probability on the ballistic evidence. Came up with some pretty startling stuff. Apparently, the barrel of a gun can be changed, so the gun can be used again.
That's very interesting. About as interesting as your dissertation on the comparative inflationary value of tourist tankards.
But if he had the right equipment...
If he had the right equipment. Andy Griffin is the sort of bloke who hardly changes his own socks.
You're not thinking, Reg. Vine is right. We have to come at this from all angles.
What is this between you and Vine?
You're not listening to me.
Because you're not listening to me. You're listening to your sergeant, Mike.
Well, he has a lot to say.
Well, you should be listening to me.
But you're not telling us anything.
Well, then wait. Wait like you always do.
I waited for you to solve Martin's murder. That didn't do much good, did it? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. It's just that you don't even seem to be with us on this one. What's wrong? Has something happened?
I'll see you in the morning, Mike.
Mike.
Reg.
You said you were going to put him to bed. thanks, Mike. Thanks a lot.
What have I done?
I thought you were putting him to bed.
I've come home.
So I see.
I knew they'd try and stop me, so I waited until Nicholas had gone off to work. Then I said, I'm going home now, Joyce. Thank you for having me, and that was it.
And now you're walking around your domain?
Sort of. Can you give me a lift back to the house?
Yes, of course. I don't suppose you've heard from your father?
I think if he was going to get in touch, he would have done so already.
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps he didn't know where you were. Perhaps he's been phoning Tancred House every day. You don't happen to know where he lives, do you?
I'm sure Davina kept his number in her unfriendly address book.
Her unfriendly address book? Good grief.
Daphne and Apollo. It's a copy of the Bernini. It's supposed to be a good one. I wouldn't know. I don't really care about things like that. Davina loved it. She would. I suppose the god was going to rape her. Don't you think? I mean, they have nice words for it. Make it sound romantic. That's what he was going to do. Well, he wasn't going to take her out to dinner or buy her an engagement ring, was he? Davina was the only person to tell me anything about my father. She used to say, your mother was a soccer groupie, darling. She used to watch him play football. That's how they met. Forget him. Imagine you were born by parthenogenesis, like algae. Hello, Bib.
Hello, Miss Florrie. I'm just off home now.
Finished already?
Yeah.
I like Bib. I really like Bib. Davina wrote everything by hand. She couldn't type. She never wanted to learn. Here it is.
The unfriendly address book.
G. Jones.
What does the G stand for?
Gunner.
Gunner Jones. Perhaps I'd better have a look at the book.
It's almost full. Davina must have had so few friends. I think if you were to follow up all those names, you might never find him.
You know, Daisy, I think that we should have a couple of women police officers to stay with you during the night.
Do you have to?
Well, I don't want to frighten you, but the killer is still at large.
Yes, very well. You know, I've asked Ken Harrison to seal up the dining room for the time being.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mr. Wexford, it's your full time here.
Oh? What do you mean?
Well, you make me feel safe. I know you'll find him. I just know you will.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. Hello, little one. You don't want to be sunning yourself there. You'll get squashed. There we go. You'll be all right there, my love.
Just because Andy Griffin found the gun, it doesn't prove that he did it.
Why not?
Different ballistics? No identification? Well, it's a coincidence.
You can't change a barrel, so, sir.
Oh, come on.
Reg, I think we're missing the point.
All right, what's the motive?
Hatred.
Oh, I can't buy that.
All right, but we just still bring him in there.
Absolutely.
If we can find him, though, sir.
I'm sure he's connected in some way.
Maybe, but I doubt if he was even there.
But then who was?
Well, we shall find out. Have you found Joanne Garland?
No, no sign of her, sir, no.
And have you checked on Gabitas' alibi?
Well, not exactly, sir, no.
Then do it.
Well, I mean, he could have been coppicing like he said he was, but no one would have seen him even if he was. I mean, he's so remote. I mean, you don't think he did it, do you, sir?
Good God, what are we running here, a training school? Now get on with it.
Yes, sir, right away.
What's the matter with you, Reg?
Nothing, I'm just trying to find this man before he kills again. And he will kill again because he has a passion for destruction. A vicious passion. Has anybody found out who put those flowers on the front door?
We tracked down the florists. Well, they were a bit embarrassed, but they admitted they'd been leaving the flowers there themselves.
Good grief, why?
Publicity. They always do it when someone important dies.
Yeah? Yes.
Daisy gave me this address book. I want you to go through the names in it, see if any of them have records. You can do that on your computers, can you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Excuse me, Reg. The call's just come through. It's a man with an American accent phoning on behalf of Bid Mew.
Aye, I know him.
She lives next door to him, hasn't got a phone, so she's found a body in the woods.
A body?
Hanging.
Scared. I was scared. I told him.
I can't get a thing out of her.
Could you tell me where you saw this, Miss Mew?
I told him.
The man next door. You told him. What did you tell him?
I told him.
I wonder if she saw anything. Maybe she just frightened herself.
King's Markham CID.
Oh, yeah, we met before.
Can we have a word?
Yeah, sure, go on in.
Looks as if you've just moved in.
Yeah, I've only been here a couple of months.
What do you do?
Well, I was traveling around Europe, but then I decided to enroll in the local university. So now I'm stopping here for a while.
It was you who called us, wasn't it?
Yeah?
We can't seem to get much out of Miss Mew. Perhaps you could tell us where she said she saw the body.
Well, I could show you.
Did she tell you where she saw it?
Yeah, I think I can find it. I think she said it was around here someplace.
I have a feeling this might be Joanne Garland.
Yes.
Sir, over here.
Oh, no.
Who is it?
It's Andy Griffin.
I told you, didn't I? I told you my Andy was innocent. Whoever it was killed him. Probably did it because they knew you lot were after him.
I doubt that's the case, Mr. Griffin. Come on.
So don't think you've heard the end of it. I want an inquiry. Someone responsible for my boy, you hear? You hear me?
Sir. Come on, I'll take you to the car. Come on.
nearest I could put time of death at this stage is last Friday. He's been dead for almost a week.
Well, I saw Andy that Friday morning, so he must have been killed sometime in the afternoon or evening of that day.
Was he drugged? No. A blow to the head. Well, look, I'll ring you as soon as I finish the post-mortem.
Thanks.
I still think Andy is our second man. The man Daisy didn't see.
No, I'm not so sure.
Then why was he killed?
Because he knew something.
Well, exactly. Andy supplied the gun.
Well, you find me the gun, Mike, and I'll believe you.
Hello, Jen.
Dora, I haven't come at a bad time, have I?
No, absolutely not.
Could you spare me a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something.
Of course, come in.
Any response from Daisy's father? Well, he doesn't seem to be at the address we've got for him, sir. Maybe he's away or something.
Is Joanne Garland still missing?
Yeah, sir.
I wonder what Andy was up to.
You and me both. Have you checked on Hogarth?
Yes, I put a call into Dr. Perkins at the university, sir. He runs a creative writing course that Hogarth says he's doing. Oh, shit, sir. Your daughter phone.
Sheila?
No, Sylvia?
Oh, yeah.
It was something about a housewarming party next week or something.
Yeah.
Why does Sylvia keep moving?
Well, she hopes it'll save that rotten marriage of hers.
Maybe it will.
You are going to Sylvia's housewarming, aren't you?
I can.
Oh, she really wants you to be there.
I'll be there. So will Mike and Jenny, by all accounts. That way I can get out of it. What's that?
Oh, just some bump about heights in Nevada. Sheila sent me.
Oh.
Yes, she called. She said she would really like to talk things through with you.
Talk things through?
Now, Reg, you had better get used to it. That is all I can say. Jenny came round. She was fishing to find out what's wrong with you. Even Mike has noticed you're not your normal self. He's worried that you don't have your mind on the job.
So, he's sent Jenny around to snoop on me.
No, he's worried. And to be honest, so am I, Reg. Why can't you listen to Sheila? She loves that man, and it's her life, not yours.
I'll never get used to it, Dora. Never. Oh, Sheila.
You sure you don't want one, Daisy?
No, thanks.
Well, good night then.
Night, Carla. Sleep well. me. Kill me now if you're going to. Go on. Go on, do it.
Who's in the kitchen?
Huh? Daisy!
He's out there. I saw him out there.
Daisy, come and sit down.
Have you found him?
No, you're quite safe.
He
Nothing
could
can
have
happen.
killed me.
Oh, come on, Daisy. You're quite safe.
No, I'm not.
It's been like this ever since you saw him, haven't you, Daisy? I don't know how many times I've cuddled you. It doesn't seem to do much good. Come have a cup of tea.
I didn't want the first cup. Why do I have to have tea? Like something to stun me. And like something to put me to sleep forever.
Go and see if you can find some brandy, will you, Rosie? Tell me what happened, Daisy.
I've never had brandy before.
Tell me what happened. Go on, Daisy, tell me what happened.
The outside lights went out. I was going to bed. He was just outside the conservatory. I saw him out there in the moonlight as near as you are to me now.
And then?
I just started screaming. I screamed until Carla came.
I found her hammering on the glass, and then I phoned you.
Tell me what you saw, Daisy.
I couldn't see his face. I just turned the lights off. I think he had a mask.
Like before?
No. A woolly helmet like some kind of terrorist. And a tracksuit. I don't know.
Was it the same man, Daisy?
I don't know. How can I tell? I can't even think straight.
Well, try. Try and tell me.
He wasn't old. And he was big and strong. And he seemed to know the place. No, I don't know why I think that. Oh, what's happening to me?
Just tell us what's going on.
It's nothing to worry about, sir, honestly.
There's police everywhere. We've a right to know.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank God you're okay. I said to Brenda, I thought they'd come back to finish you off.
So we got some things on and we came straight over. I made Ken get the car. I didn't feel safe walking.
We ought to be looking after you, Daisy, not a couple of police women.
I'm giving you notice. I want you out of here. The sooner the better.
Hey?
If I had my way, you'd be out of here tomorrow.
Well, she's upset. Poor little thing.
Haven't you got any feelings? Talking about finishing me off. I hate you. I hate you both. I want you off my land. I'm taking your cottage away from you. I can manage on my own. Can't you see that?
Come on now, Daisy, up to bed. Come on. It'll be okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Harrison, I think you'd better go home.
Well, she didn't mean it, did she?
Just go home, please.
Where's John Gavitas? That's what I'd like to know.
Probably sleeping.
Yeah, sleeping on the job, more like. Can't he be bothered to come up here and see what's happened?
Yeah, if anyone should get the push, it should be him, lazy devil.
Just go home.
All right, we're going. Oh, good grief.
Any luck?
No, no trace of him. Did you get a bit of description?
No.
I was wondering, why didn't he kill her? Huh? I mean, I think Daisy knows who it is, and she's not telling.
Oh, don't be silly, Mike. The girl's being terrorized.
I don't think you're seeing Daisy very clearly, Reg.
What do you mean?
Well, you're upset about your own daughter, and Daisy... Well, perhaps Daisy's taking Sheila's place for you.
How dare you?
What?
You send Jenny round the door to find out what you haven't got the courage to ask for yourself?
No, look, I'm just trying to help you.
Now, don't worry about me. I can look after myself. You just think about this killer.
Daisy's father rang in tonight. He's been away. I'm going to go and see him tomorrow. Perhaps he can shed some light on all this.
Good. Good.
All right, then?
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Come in. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, yeah?
George Godwin Jones. Well, that's my full name. Though mostly people call me Gunner on account of the team, you know?
And what position did you play?
I was a winger. I've been a bit of a winger all my life, I suppose. I've been married since Naomi, you know. And that didn't work out either. She packed her bags about 5 years ago, and I haven't seen her since. And I don't intend to take the plunge again, you know? Would you like a drink?
No.
No, thank you. But you feel free. What do you do for a living, Mr. Jones?
I sell sports equipment. Got a shop in the Holloway Road. Business is booming, never better. That was a bad business at TANCRED. I was shocked to hear about it.
I believe you didn't have much contact with your daughter.
I haven't had any, my friend. Not for 17 years. She must be 18 now.
Yes, that's right.
Don't you care, Mr. Jones?
I knew you'd ask that. And, no, not a lot. I mean, I'm glad she weren't killed. That would have upset me.
The other deaths didn't upset you?
A bit. But it's been a long time.
Why didn't you get in touch when you heard about it?
I was away when it happened, fishing on Dartmoor. I often go there. Didn't hear about it till I got back yesterday afternoon. Rang you as soon as I picked up your message.
Well, perhaps you could tell us exactly where you were, sir.
Yeah, I'll write it down for you. I suppose I've missed the funeral. Well, they didn't invite me. I wasn't exactly on friendly terms with Davina.
Not many people were, it seems.
Naomi, poor cow, didn't stand a chance with a mother like that, you know. Naomi was nothing. I was a genius compared to her. Personality of the year, me.
Mr. Jones?
No, Davina Flory was a queen-sized bitch. She regarded me, you know, as a barbarian stud to be discarded as soon as the baby was born. And that's exactly what she engineered. Have you read her books?
One or two.
Then you'll know. She never referred to the working class as the working class. She called them the lower class. She was a snob. There. They'll give me an alibi. Check it out all you like. Be my guest. That's the pub next to the cottage I was staying in, and I was in there most of the time.
You're quite a sportsman, Mr. Jones. Do you know how to handle a gun?
Never so much as fired an air gun. Tell me, does Daisy look like me?
No.
Good. I suppose it all goes to her now. Lucky little lass, eh?
Mrs. McSanfire?
Hello?
Mrs. Isabel McSanfire?
Yes?
Oh, this is Detective Chief Inspector Wexford, King's Markham CID.
What help can I be to you?
Well, I believe that Miss Davina Flory with Mr. Copeland and Mrs. Jones and Daisy all stayed with you last August when they came up to the Edinburgh Festival.
Oh, no. Davina preferred staying in hotels. They all stayed in a hotel.
But you saw a good deal of them.
I saw Davina. Naomi was ill most of the time. I suggested she stayed with me, but she wouldn't, even though it's so awful being ill in a hotel, don't you think?
Did you see a lot of Daisy?
Very little. She spent most of the time with a young man.
Oh, Nicholas Verson?
That's right. Davina did mention the name Nicholas.
He was at the funeral.
Was he? I was so upset I really didn't notice. I only saw him once, and that was on their last day. I waved to them across the street. Is that all you wanted to ask?
Well, no, I wondered if you'd do me a great favour.
Of course.
Well, Daisy shouldn't be here. I know that this is an imposition, but I wonder if you'd ask her to stay with you. Mr. Sebright.
Did you read my piece on the mourners? Sub cut it to bits. A bit too probing for the Chronicle's tastes.
No, don't worry. I don't think you'll be there very long.
That sounds a bit double-edged. I've just had an amazing interview with Daisy, the masked intruder.
Oh, she told you all about that, did she?
Everything. The works. Couldn't help thinking, though. Anyone could do that, couldn't they? Come up here in a mask and frighten the ladies.
Oh, that appeals to you, does it?
Only as a story. Oh, I read something the other day. I think it's wonderful. Lord Halifax said to John Wilkes, "Upon my word, sir, I do not know if you shall first perish on the gallows or of the pox." And Wilkes said back,
"That depends, my lord, whether I first embrace your lordship's principles or your lordship's mistress."
You know it.
Of course. What is it about it that appeals to you?
It sort of reminds me of me. Cheerio.
Whose is that MG?
It's Nick Verson's. Daisy's fiancé.
You remember Nicholas? You met at the hospital, didn't you?
How do you do?
Good afternoon.
Can I offer you a drink, Reg?
Who told you my name?
Carla. What'll it be?
Well, a mineral water if you have one.
Let me do it.
Oh, thank you. Daisy, I've come to find out if you've reconsidered your decision to stay here.
How funny. So has Nicholas. He's been so good to me. You all have. Everyone's been really kind. But Nicholas would do anything for me. Wouldn't you, Nicholas?
Anything in my power, darling.
Thank you.
I want Daisy to come back to Mother's. She should never have left us, but she's so absurdly stubborn. Well, perhaps you could say something to make her see that it's dangerous here.
Well, I would have thought the other night was reason enough.
Well, I mean, I'd stay here myself, but I suppose it wouldn't be quite the thing.
You think you could defend me?
I'm a bloody good shot.
I don't think we need any more guns up here, Mr. Verson.
Everybody wants me to stay with them. Old Mrs. McSamfire just rang from Edinburgh and 2 girls from school. I'm really popular.
And you've turned everybody down?
Mr. Wexford, I'm going to stay on in my own house. Don't you realise if I ran away now, I might never come back?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I know I'm going to be safe. Please, stop worrying.
Well, I wish I could be that confident. Well, you could board at school. They take boarders at your school, don't they?
I'm certainly not going back to school. I don't need A-levels anymore.
But I thought you wanted to go to university.
No. That was my grandmother's fantasy, not mine.
Well, in my opinion, for what it's worth, I think you'd be making a great mistake. You're very bright.
Listen to you. You sound just like a father.
I'm sorry. I have no right to say that.
Daisy's left school. All that's over. I think I'll stay on for a while, darling, if it's all right. Could you give me a spot of dinner, or should we go out?
Well, at least you're feeling better.
I woke up this morning and I realised the only way I'm going to get over all of this is to make this place mine. I'll get over it much quicker by staying here. I know I will. See? I turned the fountain on.
Yes.
Isn't it lovely? Look at the rainbows it makes. With the water washing down, you can't see that horrible leer on Apollo's face. You can believe he loves her. You can see he only wants to kiss her.
I wish you'd reconsider. Not only about staying here, but about going to university. Please. To please me.
If we're saying they left and perhaps arrived through the woods themselves, it will be a Jeep or a Land Rover. Or some other vehicle built for use on rough ground. And the driver would know those woods like the back of his hand.
Well, Andy Griffin knew them. And his father knows them, probably better than anyone else.
How are things with Daisy?
Oh, I don't know, Mike. The world seems to be full of unruly children who simply won't listen to what their parents are telling them.
Jenny always says that it's the parents who don't listen to the children.
John Gabitas knows the woods.
So does Ken Harrison.
What is this?
Oh, what this is, sir, is a program where you feed in the crime and all the suspects, and the computer keeps asking us questions.
Oh, does it give you a prize if you get the right answer? What about Gunnar Jones?
No, sir, this is just a list of suspects who actually know the woods.
Well, Gunnar Jones lived here for nearly a year, maybe more. He should be on the list.
It's just a tool, sir. And a tool is only as good as a craftsman that actually knows how to use it. A bit like an electronic notebook, really.
So what about Gunnar Jones?
He has an alibi. Have you checked that yet, Barry?
No, I'm actually still waiting to get through. His number's been engaged all day. I'll give it a go again though now, sir.
Electronic notebook, eh?
Yes.
Hold on. Yeah, have a look at that. Where did you get this envelope?
Gunnar Jones wrote on it. It's from his house.
It's got the King's Markham postmark on it. It's to celebrate the King's Markham Town Fair. I know that writing. I was looking at it just a couple of days ago.
Whose is it?
Joanne Garland. They know each other.
2 months ago. She wrote to him 2 months ago.
I'm sorry, why would he write the address on that if he's involved?
Maybe he wants us to investigate him.
All that exercise equipment in her flat. Do you think it came from him?
I spoke to her mother. She's a lovely old lady. I could give her a bell again if you want.
No. I'll go round and see her myself. I think I want to know the exact relationship between Joanne Garland and Gunnar Jones. He was next in line for inheritance after Daisy, wasn't he?
Yes, so the solicitor says.
Well, there you are. There's the motive. He hated them, and they stole his child.
Would he know how to change the barrel of a gun, though?
No, he said he didn't know anything about guns, sir.
Well, check him out. And I want that gun found, Mike. Even if you have to scour the whole estate. Oh, and question Gabitas again, will you? I think he knows more than he's saying. Oh, Sergeant Vine.
Yes, sir.
Switch off that computer for a while, will you? And use your own brain.
Yes, Dad. Joanne pays for all this. She only visits once a month. My other children visit more often. But you didn't really come to ask me about Joanne, did you?
No. Though we are trying to find her.
This is about Naomi, isn't it?
Yes. How did you know that, Mrs. Cheney?
It's something to do with what happened up there. Joanne was worried about her. She used to talk to me about it when she wasn't talking about herself.
In what way was she worried, Mrs. Cheney?
She said that Naomi had no life. She ought to find a man. Said her life was empty. Still, she's gone now, so that's water under the bridge.
But Joanne had a man, didn't she?
My daughter Joanne had 2 husbands. Both gone now, though.
Did she know Naomi's ex-husband?
Gunnar Jones? Oh, good heavens, yes. They were like that. Thick as thick. Joanne and Brian and Naomi and Gunnar. They did everything together. Though that was 20 years ago. But when the marriages split up, Joanne sided with Naomi against Gunnar. I mean, you don't give up on a marriage just because you can't get on with your wife's mother. Especially when you've got a baby. That baby was only 6 months old. How could he leave her? How could he? Could you?
No. No, I could never leave my daughter.
Do you really think my daughter's missing, Mr. Wexford?
Yes. Yes, I do. Mrs. Cheney, do your children listen to you?
Oh, good heavens, no. I spent all my life listening to them. Barely get a word in edgeways. Children just think about themselves. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, 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 would you believe it?
What is it?
Gunner Jones has got a firearms certificate for a rifle and a handgun. And he's a member of the North London Gun Club.
What's the handgun?
Smith & Wesson Model 31.
But it's not a Colt 44. Was he on Dartmoor?
Well, the innkeeper remembers seeing him on a couple of nights during the past few weeks. Won't swear to which nights, though.
I think we should bring him in, don't you?
Yeah.
Where each guest was called on to sing his own song. The first one to sing was the bride's of my aunt. He sang of the days that would ne'er come again. He sang of the days that would ne'er come again. On hearing those words.
Yeah, that's right. Joanne and I were friends once. In fact, I worked for her husband while I was living here.
When did you last see Mrs. Garland?
See her? I haven't seen her for 18 years, not since me and Naomi split. She took Naomi's side and so did her husband. So I lost my wife, my child, and my job all at once.
Why did you leave?
I was driven out by Davina Flory.
And you haven't seen Joanne since?
She became one of them.
And yet you received a letter from her recently.
Did she tell you that?
Joanne Garland is missing, Mr. Jones. Her whereabouts are unknown.
Hey, come on.
She's been missing since the night of the murders.
I was in Devon. Didn't you check it out?
Oh, yes, we did. But we couldn't find anybody to vouch for you on the 11th and the 12th. You told us you'd never handled a gun. And yet you're a member of the North London Gun Club.
But that was a joke. Gunner Jones doesn't know one end of a gun from the other.
I must have a different sense of humour. Tell me about that letter from Joanne Garland.
Well, which one? There were two.
Both.
She wanted me and Naomi to get back together again. The minute she heard that I was divorced from my second wife, she wrote saying she thought I should try again with Naomi. I mean, come on.
And did you reply?
No, sport. I consigned her letter to the bin. I received another one like it a month or so ago saying more or less the same thing. That went the same way as the first.
I'll tell you what I'd like you to do. I'd like to get somebody to vouch for you on the 11th and the 12th.
I can do that. And I think maybe I should get a lawyer down here, don't you?
Oh, that won't be necessary. We're not holding you. You're just in for inquiries.
You mean I can go?
Oh, yeah.
This is Sheila Wexford. Can't get to the phone right now. Please leave a message.
Sheila, it's me. I've been trying to reach you. Your mother says you want to talk things through. I haven't left a message before because I wanted to speak to you personally. Will you call me? Please. Yes?
Reg, Freeborn here, remember me?
Yes, sir. How can I help?
I read the local paper today, a piece entitled The Masked Intruder. I don't understand why you're letting Miss Flory stay in the house. It's an added expense in man-hours. And it's dangerous.
It's her house, sir.
With the killer still at large? I don't understand it. Unless you're using her as bait.
The thought hadn't crossed my mind, sir.
Well, think about it. And keep me informed. I'd rather find out what's happening from you first, not the local paper.
We've been very busy.
Oh, good. What's your progress?
We've brought in Daisy's father. He's a suspicious character, sir. Ample motive. But we don't have any evidence.
Well, maybe you should find some.
We'll do our best.
Okay. Well, give me a ring if anything happens.
I hope you won't upset her.
I just want to speak to her.
She should be in here. Babe. Babe! Mr. Wexford wants to talk to you. Come on, love. Come on.
Miss Mew, I just want to ask you a few questions. When you've been cycling home in the past few days, have you seen anyone in the area?
What?
Before you found the body.
What?
Before you found the body, did you see anybody in the area?
I don't know.
We need to know everything that you might have seen.
Babe, no! Babe! Babe! No! She's a bit simple, Mr. Wexford. She's brain damaged.
Yeah, she's scared too.
You're telling me she won't go past where she found the body. She goes the long way round. Babe!
Babe? I'm going now. I'm going. I'll see myself out.
Yes, you do that. Babe!
But after a while you're looking the other way. It's those restless hearts that never met. Johnny come lately, the new kid in town. Will she still love you when you're not around?
Oh, with the picture. Ah, Mr. Hogarth, thank you very much for coming. We can't get anything out of Miss Mew.
Well, I'll tell you what I know.
Well, before you do, I wonder if you'd answer me a question. If your course starts in the autumn... Oh, please sit down. Why do you come so early?
Oh, summer school. They run a preliminary course for all the students taking an MA.
Oh, I see. You don't mind if I record this? Now, if you'll tell me everything that Bid Mew said to you.
She said, dead person hanging up. I guess I didn't believe her. I said, come on, or something like that. I said, tell me again. I just made some coffee, and I made her have some, calm her down. Guess she didn't care for it. Too strong. She spilled it all down her front. She was really shaking.
She didn't say anything about seeing anybody else in the woods on previous occasions, round about where the body was found?
No. I asked her if she could show me where she'd seen it, but that just started her off again. And then I called the police. You gotta understand, she didn't actually talk. Well, not actually talk. She made a whole lot of noises, but no real speech.
Hello. You asked me to come over the other day, and ever since then I thought how rude I was. So I thought today I'll go and see the place, and here I am.
Well, I'll give you a conducted tour in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, Sergeant Vine will show you our new computer system and explain to you how it works.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. Sure, this way.
Who is that?
Ah, it's Daisy. Miss Davina Flores. She lives in the house.
You mean the girl who was shot?
Yes. Well, I'll get this typed up, and if you'll sign it, then we're all finished.
Is that everything?
Unless there's anything else you want to tell me?
No. Not quite the setup here. I was thinking of getting a computer myself. Maybe I should have a look at these.
Thank you.
See you around.
Yeah, see ya.
Looks like he's just off to have his Hanson lessons.
Oh, your type, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Who was that?
Well, Jonathan Hogarth, American student.
What a nice name. I do like names with a thirst sound in them. Where does he live?
In a cottage in Pomfret Monacorum. He's over here studying for a creative writing MA at the University of the South.
Perhaps I should go to university after all.
Oh, there you go. Motivation. Now, what do I have to do to make you go and stay somewhere safer?
You know, I don't suppose I'll use this place anymore. I used to bring all my friends here.
Oh, well, I'm sure you will again. Why don't you go and see Jonathan Hogarth and talk to him about universities? See what he has to say.
Good idea.
Do you ever use rope in your business?
Sometimes. Why?
Just wondered if you had any.
I haven't used any lately, but I always have some to hand. It's in the machinery shed.
Bulb's gone.
Doesn't matter. I know where it is. I can find it in the dark. It's not here.
Yes?
Is Miss Florian? I'm Mr. Hogarth. She rang me earlier this afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Hogarth. Do come in. It's all right, Carla.
Inspector Burton, I phoned you as soon as I found it.
As soon as you'd removed it from where you found it? When was the last time you looked in that drawer?
Last night about 9. I was going to write a letter to my parents in Norfolk.
And the gun wasn't there then?
Of course it wasn't! Can't you understand? I've never seen it before.
Please be calm, Mr. Gabitas.
You were out this morning, weren't you?
Yes. I had a meeting with Daisy.
Do you like Daisy?
She'll vouch for me.
Pity you can't find someone to vouch for your whereabouts on Tuesday the 11th.
The whole nature of my work is that I'm often by myself for days on end.
Who has keys to your house?
The Harrisons, the Griffins perhaps, and Daisy.
What about access to the machinery shed, where you couldn't find the rope?
Oh, anyone can get in there.
Do you like Daisy?
You asked me that before.
Yes, and I'm asking you again.
What has that got to do with it?
You're young, good-looking, and unattached. And she's very beautiful and very rich.
Yes, I like her. Don't you?
Yes.
Look, honestly, I have nothing to do with this. They're setting me up, whoever it is. They take my rope, they plant a gun. I'd have to be totally insane to come to you with a gun if I'd done it.
Either that, or very clever.
Next time I find a gun, I won't tell the police. I shall just chuck it straight in the river.
It's empty. I can't tell you if this is the same weapon that was used in the bank killing, but it is certainly the weapon that was used at Tancred House on the 11th.
What can't you be sure?
The barrel's been changed. And whoever did it knew what he was doing.
Well, gunsmith?
Depends what sort of gunsmith. Most of them around here just specialise in shotguns. This is not the barrel this gun started its life with, and whoever did it did a very good job. It wasn't his hobby.
What is it?
A review of Gussie's new novel, The Lash. I tried to read this book, but after a time realized I understood nothing. A good deal of it is in verse, and the rest is a conversation between two unnamed persons, probably, but not certainly male, who are deeply concerned by the disappearance of an armadillo. This continues throughout the novel, apart from one page covered with algebraic equations and another containing the single word shit repeated 57 times.
Let me see. Oh, there's a picture of him.
Yeah, who's the woman with him?
Penelope Casey.
Was that his sister?
No, it's his wife. It looks as if he's gone back to her.
You knew that?
Well, Sheila didn't phone this week, so I phoned her. She sounded rather upset, but all she said was that Gus's wife had come back to the flat and he had gone back there to talk it through with her.
Poor Sheila. She must be devastated. Armadillo. So you think that Andy Griffin slept there while we were searching for him? Oh. Why would he want to?
I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if this place had some sort of particular fascination for him.
Well, if it did, he can't be the second man. The one that Daisy heard but didn't see.
Blackmail was his line. Small, petty blackmail.
That's why he was killed. He probably sold the gun to our killers and then tried to blackmail them.
Yes. Of course, that still doesn't explain how the gun ends up in Gabitas's house. Unless, of course, Gabitas is involved in some way.
Or Gunner Jones. I mean, if Andy could hide out here with this all around, what's to say that Mr. Jones couldn't do exactly the same thing, sir?
Quite right, Sergeant.
We're getting nowhere very fast.
I don't know. I think it's coming together very nicely.
All I know is that he had fair hair. Shortish and thick, quite thick fair hair. Maybe he was wearing a mask like the sort people wear in smog or when you use a chainsaw. I could see his chin. His eyes.
Please, you don't have to answer this now.
No, I want to. I want to tell you. Do you have children, Inspector? Boys or girls?
2 girls.
Well, they're not safe. As long as he's alive, they're not safe. I want him caught.
Oh, we'll catch him. Don't worry.
He shot me. I don't know. I don't remember. It all happened so fast. 10 minutes, that's all. That's all I can remember. He shot me. My heart hurts.
Oh, good. Now you're here, Mr. Wexford. Perhaps you'll come in on our side. I know how you feel about Daisy being here alone. We came here to try again to get her to come back and stay with us. It's obviously absurd for her to be here, as if she was grown up, as if she was able to make her own decisions.
I am grown up and I do make my own decisions.
We just thought that if you came to dinner with us and stayed the night, you'd see that you'd have your own sitting room. A kind of suite. Well, you wouldn't be living with us. You could be your own woman.
I've already told you I'm going out to dinner tonight. I don't expect to be back till quite late, and my friend will certainly bring me home.
Well, Daisy, you might at least tell me who it is you're going to dinner with.
Why?
Well, is it someone we know?
No.
Well, perhaps you could bring them to our place.
Well, I'm sorry, Daisy, but this is all quite beyond me. I would have thought you would want to spend time with Nicholas instead of manipulating him like this. I'm sorry, I hate this sort of thing.
Mother, please!
If this is women's lib, or whatever you call it, you can keep it. It won't get you a good husband, that I do know.
Mother? So, are you, coming to have lunch with us?
I can't, can I? Mr. Wexford's here to talk to me. It's important. I have to help the police, or have you forgotten what happened here?
Of course not. Well, perhaps I could pop by later this afternoon, on my own, and try and persuade you to change your mind.
Of course. Friends can call on each other when they want, can't they? You're my friend, Nicholas. Surely you know that.
Thanks, Daisy.
I hope you'll always be my friend.
We'll see ourselves out.
always listening at doors. It's a sort of passion of hers, a sort of addiction. I could hear her breathing, couldn't you?
No, I couldn't.
The Harrisons have told me they're leaving. I didn't mean it when I sacked them. I was in a rage.
I think they're aware of that.
John Gabbitas is leaving too. He's buying a house in Sowingbury. He'll still look after the woods, but he won't live here. I'll be left with Bib. Do you think she'll try and murder me?
Oh, I don't think so, do you?
Not at all. She just never speaks and always listens at doors. As a murderer, she makes a very good cleaner. Sorry, that wasn't very funny. God, I'm beginning to sound like Davina. Or worse, Nicholas's mother. You don't think I ought to stay there, do you? She persecutes me.
I don't think you'd do anything I said anyway.
I don't know. I took your advice about talking to Fanny Hogarth. I really like him.
Good.
Oh, there's something I must tell you. Joanne Garland phoned.
What?
Don't look so amazed. She'd just got back from the airport. Only called an hour ago. She thought she was phoning Mum. It was awful. She had no idea.
Cosmetic surgery. It's healing up, believe it or not. I didn't want anyone to know. I've been away in California for a few weeks. Naomi was the only person I told. She was my best friend. My only friend. Ow! Thank you.
So, you had a facelift?
And my eyelids tucked, that sort of thing. Oh, God, I feel awful.
Well, if it's any comfort, you don't look your age.
How do you know my age?
We've been finding out a lot about you. A lot of people have been worried since your disappearance, Mrs. Garland. Now, I have to ask you a few questions.
Really? Now?
On the evening that you left, the evening of the 11th, we know that you went to see your mother between 5 and 5:30. I would like you to tell us what you did after that.
Well, I packed. I telephoned the hotel at Gatwick. My flight left in the morning and I wanted to spend the night there so no one would see my leaving.
Why?
Well, I didn't want any awkward questions. My sister's happening to phone up.
What time did you go to Tancred House?
10 to 8. I'm never late.
Then he left you a message that afternoon.
Yes, I heard it. Not that day, though. If I had, maybe I am. You know, when you're going away somewhere, you cut off all affairs. You decide to leave your messages until you get back.
What time did you get out to the estate?
Well, I left at 10 to 8 and I got there at 10 past. No, 11 minutes past, in fact. I looked at my watch as I rang the doorbell.
You rang the bell?
Over and over. I knew they were there. I knew they could hear. Well, I mean, I thought I knew. They were dead, weren't they? It just happened. Well, the lights were on in the dining room, and, God help me, I said to myself, Naomi's told Davina that we've done all that there is to be done, and Davina said, well, in that case, it's time that woman learned not to come round and disturb me while I'm having my dinner. She would say that. She was like that.
You rang the bell again?
3 or 4 times altogether. And, I looked through the dining room windows. But I couldn't see it and the curtains were drawn. I was angry and I drove away.
Just like that? You drove all the way there, and then when you didn't get an answer, you just drove away?
What did you expect me to do? Beat the door down?
Mrs. Garland, think very carefully. Did you pass or meet any vehicle on your way to Tancred?
No, definitely not.
Which way did you come?
Through the main gate, of course.
When you were there, did you see another vehicle parked outside?
No, of course not. They always put their cars away. I see what you mean.
Did you go round the back?
No.
Did you hear anything?
No, nothing. Nothing at all.
What time did you leave?
16 minutes past 8. I always know the time. Like I know it's 4:18 p.m. now. Is that all?
Yes. Oh, there was just one other thing. You wrote to Gunner Jones last month. He says it was because you were suggesting that he might get back with Naomi.
Is that what he told you?
Oh, why did you write to him?
It was about Daisy. Naomi had told me something I felt Gunner ought to know. Davina thought it would be nice if Harvey made love to Daisy, sort of start her off. Davina didn't want Daisy to be a virgin as long as she was. But Harvey Copeland...
What did Daisy do?
Told the old man to get lost, as far as I know. At least I hope she did. I was very worried about her.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I was very angry. Naomi didn't seem to care. Well, perhaps she was past caring. You didn't know Davina. She was a frightening woman.
So they told me.
I thought of telling Daisy's boyfriend, Nicholas Ferson. But he's such a pompous ass. I could just picture him going scarlet and sort of blustering his way out of it, so I didn't. I wrote to Gunner instead.
And how did he respond?
Nothing. What kind of a father is that?
She'll be here soon.
Pardon?
Daisy, don't you think you should get changed?
What are you talking about?
Well, isn't she coming over tonight?
No. She gave me the brush off. It's over.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, my mind was miles away.
You know, Mother, I wish you hadn't been there today.
Why?
Well, you made things very difficult. If you hadn't been there, I might have been able to talk to her.
I was only trying to help. Oh, don't worry about it, Nicholas. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Oh, I was watching that.
No, you weren't. Look, Mother, I think I'd like to move out.
Well, not yet.
What?
I said you could move out next year.
Well, I don't think I can bear another year. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, darling, you're just upset. Daisy will realise what a terrible mistake she's made in a few weeks, and she'll come running back to you. I know, trust me. Nicholas, please.
No, it's pointless trying to talk to you. Everything was going fine with Daisy until she came to stay here.
Look, I'll turn this off. We'll talk. I listen.
No, I'm going out for a drive.
Oh, please.
No. Don't wait up.
Oh, don't go out. Don't leave me like this, please.
Oh, just forget it, Mother. Everything's going to be fine, just fine. You're right. You're always right.
Was necessary, Reg. You haven't had a new suit for 6 years.
My father only had 2 suits in his entire life. Oh. Anyway, it's too big and miles away.
But they love it.
Life's difficult enough without making it an obstacle race.
Sheila might be here tonight.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, she's been invited.
Well, I doubt if she'll come.
Dad!
Sylvia!
Hello, darling. Oh, come on in. Oh, you're looking very smart, Dad.
So's the house.
Well, come and have a look. Oh.
Yeah, we can eat
Lovely.
You live next door?
Just hello, you're looking very smart.
Oh, good heavens, you're the third person to say that this evening. Do I usually go around looking like a rag bag?
No.
Why? At least I don't look like a trendy vicar.
Because I don't have policemen stamped all over me. Come on, let's have a look around, shall we?
Do you think we dare? we'll get lost. Wow. It is a lot, isn't it?
It certainly is. I was talking to Vine today. We should be more open with this, Reg. Otherwise, we can't help you.
If this is about Sheila...
No, it's about the case. I mean, we're dealing with a vicious criminal here who's still killing people. He's around and active. We need to know whatever it is you're thinking.
I'm almost there, Mike. Just one or two things to fall into place, and then a spark of enlightenment.
I need a good deal more than that.
Okay, Mike.
As far as I'm concerned, we still haven't got past the first hurdle yet, which is how they got away from Tancred without anyone seeing them.
Go on.
Well, Daisy made her 999 call at 22 minutes past 8, which she says is 5 or 10 minutes after they left. So, if we're to believe her, Joanne Garland must have seen them. And I don't believe there's some conspiracy between Bib Mew and Gabitas and Joanne Garland and the gunman. I just don't believe it.
Mike, we've been making an assumption on some very flimsy evidence that they came and left in a car.
Well, they must have had some sort of vehicle. Daisy says she heard it start up.
Yes. She heard Joanne Garland's car.
But then Joanne Garland must have heard the shots.
Why? Daisy was shot at 8:05 and didn't come round till 16 minutes past 8. Well, we can't ask her to be accurate about time.
Well, that makes sense. So they got away on foot without anyone seeing them?
Oh, I didn't say that. Someone saw them. Perhaps Andy Griffin saw them. He was up there that night, bedding down in his little hidey-hole. He knew what they were doing. He sold them the gun. He saw them, and then he tried to blackmail them. And that's why they strung him up. Yeah, I got a lot of you.
It's on the end room.
That's all right, son. I'll get it myself.
Okay.
Well, you did invite me.
Of course, come in.
You know Dad's inside. I don't care. I came to see you. What a fantastic house. You're so bloody lucky. Do you mean that? Come on, show me round. Reg, I say, Jenny was just saying how smart you were.
This is the children's room.
Oh, look, you've got it.
Yes. That was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah. Still is. Up here, you know what I mean. Oh, God. I've been such an idiot, Sylv. All I do is fall in love and keep on falling. I'm afraid. Afraid of growing up, that's my problem. You've never had that. Look at all this. You've done it.
I heard about Gus.
Yeah? I really loved the little shit.
Hi, Dad.
I'm sorry.
I said some terrible things too.
I apologize for what I said. But I'm very sorry for the things I didn't do.
What didn't you do?
I didn't listen. Sorry. When you said you loved.
No, you didn't. Will you listen to me now?
What?
This feather stirs, she lives. If it be so, it is a chance which does redeem all sorrows that ever I have felt.
Some Victorian happy ending to Romeo and Juliet?
King Lear.
Of course. Oh, I read a review.
In the Times?
Have you read the book?
Yes. I didn't understand a word of it either. Oh, come on, let's dance.
You bitch. You bloody bitch!
Nicholas? Hello?
It was arson.
Ah, could have been terrorism. Nothing left.
Enough of them to know what happened. Nicholas told them that his mother stockpiled petrol during the Gulf War, and since then they'd kept the petrol in the garage.
Good God, what a stupid thing to do.
Yes, well, they found the stub of an ordinary household candle at the epicenter of the blast. So apparently you soak a piece of string in paraffin. You put one end of the string into a can of paraffin, put the cans of paraffin among the cans of petrol. You tie the other end of the string round a candle halfway down. Light the candle, and then 2, 3, 4 hours later...
Such a massive blast?
Well, they think it didn't truly ignite until the door to the garage was opened. Then everything went up. Including the gas main. Everything.
Who else knew about the petrol, Mr. Verson?
Our cleaner.
Who's that?
Bib Mew.
Bib Mew?
Yes, we recommended her to Davina. She's always done for us.
Who else?
Quite a few people. Some men that worked on the house, the gardener, an old school pal of mine, Daisy, some friends of Mother. I gave a list to the fire brigade. So you think there's a connection between this and the Tancred house murders? Well, who are they looking for? Did they think Daisy was with us?
It could be.
Where did you say you were last night?
I was just driving around.
Where did you drive?
I don't remember, just around. It was a fine night.
What time did you leave your mother and start out?
9:30. Look, I'm telling the truth.
Where did you go?
I told you, just around.
You just drove round the countryside for 3 hours? In the middle of the night?
Well, if you must know, I'd had an argument with Mother and... Oh, God, I swear by my life and everything I hold sacred, I had nothing to do with this. She was my mother.
I want to believe you, Mr. Verson. But I suggest that you stay in the area. I shall want to talk to you again.
Will you be staying with Daisy?
I don't think so.
You'd think she'd invite him to stay, wouldn't you?
She probably did. They turned down the offer.
I think they were after Daisy.
Why?
Well, you said that the Versons had invited Daisy to stay with them last night. Maybe they heard about it, thought she was going to be there.
Yes. Bib Mew listened to that conversation.
Nicholas Verson knew that she wouldn't be there. So I don't think it's him.
Unless he made a dreadful mistake.
Why on earth would he want to kill her? He loves her, it's painfully obvious.
Yes. Maybe Bib Mew was known to the killer and inadvertently gossiped about the petrol and the fact that Daisy was going to be with the Versons. But I can't imagine her being involved in this, can you, Mike?
Well, no. Maybe she'll go and talk to Daisy again.
Yes.
Oh.
Were you expecting someone else?
Oh, just Mr. Hogarth. He was going to take me over to his place this evening, read me some of his work.
Oh, that was good of him. I had just 1 or 2 points I'd like to clear up.
Better come in then.
Thank you.
I heard about Joyce. It was terrible. I was so shocked.
Have you spoken to Nicholas?
No.
You haven't?
Oh, I've tried. I heard he was staying at the Olive and Dove. I've left messages for him. I know what he must be going through, poor boy. I thought he'd come here and see me. But he didn't.
Daisy, we think that fire might have been meant for you.
Why?
You remember Bib Mew overheard you being invited there? We think that she passed the information on to someone.
Who?
What would you say if I told you that we think there was only one killer?
I'd say the same as I said before. I heard a car.
You heard Joanne Garland's car.
Why'd you say that?
Because she was here shortly after the killer left. The killer came alone. And I don't think he came down the main stairs. I think he came through the back. And he knows the house well. Very well. He shot Harvey from behind. And then he went into the dining room.
We couldn't talk about this later, could we? I feel very tired.
No, we have to talk about it now.
Why? Why now?
Because I think you know who it is. I think you saw his face.
I didn't.
Perhaps you don't want to remember.
I didn't see his face.
I think the killer thinks you saw his face. That's why you were still in danger.
But I told you he was wearing a mask.
You've told me a great many things, Daisy. And most of them have proved to be untrue.
Why are you pushing me like this?
Because next time, he might succeed.
I told you the truth. I didn't see his face. Now please leave me alone.
Right. What do Nicholas Verson, John Gavitas, and Jason Coram Seabright have in common then?
Who's Jason Coram Seabright?
Oh, is that stupid reporter the chief keeps talking to? You know, the old school pal of daisies?
Oh, right.
Well then, What they got in common?
They're all male, all young.
Male.
All English speaking.
No.
Well, from their combined testimonies, it can be seen that they're all Daisy's admirers.
And you should add Fanny Hogarth to that list.
No, he doesn't count. She's only known him a couple of days.
What's his name anyway?
Right. Which of these men has access to, is, or knows a trained gunsmith?
What time is it in California?
Oh.
Hiya. I want to talk to you about last night.
For God's sake, must you?
I'm not going to ask you. I'm going to tell you. And you can confirm it or deny it, but I don't think you'll deny it. You were at TANCRED House.
What if I was?
Rather than just driving around, you drove straight there. You found that Daisy had gone out, the house was empty, and only the police presence was in place. You hid your car and you waited. You waited and you watched the house.
How did you know?
Carla said Daisy and Hogarth came back about midnight. We have a man posted at the main gate, and he saw your car. Now, what were you doing there?
She was mine. We were practically engaged. She said she wanted to marry me one day. She said that when she came out of the hospital.
Daisy is very young, Mr. Verson. These things happen.
Yes, apparently you introduced her to this American friend, Mr. Wexford.
What were you doing there?
I wanted to talk to him when he came out. But he never came out.
He stayed all night?
Yes. It's a shame your police protection doesn't extend to Daisy's morals.
There are quicker ways of committing suicide.
As a matter of fact, I gave up last summer. Was on holiday with Mother in Corfu. Seemed a good time. No stress and all that. It's a funny thing. When I said nothing would make me start again, I couldn't have foreseen this.
I thought you were with Daisy in Edinburgh last summer.
Wish I was.
What time it is, Reg?
I don't care. Can't be out.
Well, come to bed. Whatever it is can wait until tomorrow.
No, I can't.
Hello?
Mrs. McSapphire. Speaking. I'm so sorry to call you so late.
Who is speaking?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Chief Inspector Wexford. King's Markham.
Oh, Mr. Wexford, I spoke to Daisy, but she wasn't interested in coming to stay. I can't say I blame her.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Thank you very much for doing that for me. I wanted to ask you something else. Remember I asked you if you had seen Nicholas Verson when he was up in Edinburgh last year?
Daisy's young man, yes.
Well, could you describe him to me?
Well, I only saw him across the road.
Well, what did he look like?
Dark hair, a ponytail. He looked rather like a pirate, I thought. Very dashing indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
What you got?
I'm tracking their records on Hogarth. There's no joy in police files. Now searching his academic record.
I've been thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was only one.
One what?
One killer.
Well, it's interesting. It doesn't exactly hold with Daisy's testimony, though, does it?
Well, that's the whole thing. If he was her lover and she put him up to it, she wouldn't identify him, would she?
Yeah, but Mikey shot her.
But he didn't kill her. Now, if it was Fanny Hogarth, he could have walked or used a bike to get up here.
Yeah, could have.
He would have come in the back door, Daisy would have primed him, told him what to expect. And then he shoots her too.
Well, that's where it all comes unstuck. I mean, he'd have to be a real cold-hearted bastard to shoot his girlfriend just so she'd make a convincing witness.
And he'd have to know that she'd be the sort of person not to spill the beans. When the murders happened, she was really upset, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. Then after that intruder, she suddenly started to brighten up. And maybe that was when he came back, told her everything had gone according to plan.
Yeah, well, in that case, he really is a cold-hearted bastard, isn't he? Let's have a look. Hang on, here we go. Check this out. Hogarth. Jonah Jonas Jonathan. Jonathan Hogarth, graduated Stylus University, California, majored in military history.
Military history?
Military history to creative writing is quite a jump, isn't it?
Yes, and he'd know guns, wouldn't he?
Hang on a minute, let's call up database on Stylus.
Can you do that?
Yeah, it's easy. Let's have a look. There we go. 8 gunsmiths. I'll print out their numbers for you.
Barry, I've got him on the line for you.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to speak to Chief Brodie, please. Yeah, I'll hold. Yeah, you have a nice day too.
Mike, what are you doing? Still there?
We're doing a little research on Fanny Hogarth.
They knew each other already, Mike. They'd met in Edinburgh last year. They were lovers already. They've both been lying to us.
Well, that's it then.
Listen, Daisy's at Edith Cottages with Hogarth. I want the cottages surrounded.
What, now?
Immediately. But they mustn't know we're there. Then call me back.
Okay.
Mike, Brodie says a year and a half ago, 2 students were shot and killed on campus. They both had one thing in common. They were both dating the same girl. The killer was never found. He also says that students often get part-time work at gunsmiths. I mean, he even employs them himself.
Get everyone down to Edith Cottages, will you? And issue firearms.
I'll get back to you.
Everything's in place, and I've set up roadblocks.
Good. Gotta see if I can get Daisy out.
Right.
And I'm going in alone.
Okay, we'll cover you. What if you can't get her out?
Well, let me try first. If I can't, you know what to do.
Torch, sir.
Oh. Thank you.
Out of here.
Not without you.
Just go.
Daisy, it's over.
She'll hear you.
I've got armed men outside.
But he's unarmed. These are all replicas.
He's dangerous now. I want you safe. What's done is done.
He didn't do anything. I just wished it, and Fanny made my wish come true. He loves me. He really does.
Daisy.
I was afraid you'd work it out. I wish you hadn't.
Daisy, come outside.
Shut up! Fanny!
Shut up. I know your men are outside. Now let us get away, or this time I will kill her. For real.
You won't kill her. You'll kill anybody else but her. Her mother, her grandparents, anybody that gets in your way, like Nicholas or Andy Griffin, who knew too much.
Just tell your men to back off.
But you won't kill her because you love her.
No! Wrong. I'm in this for marriage and money, that's it. So believe me, Mr. Wexford, sir, I will kill her.
Danny, no, please.
All right. I'll do as you ask.
What now?
As long as you're alive, I'll be okay.
You can't mean that. Look out!
Damn it! He set me up!
Cut across the estate! I didn't think he'd do it. I didn't. What, me?
Come on, Daisy. Come on. Off we go. Come on.
You all right?
Yes, it was rougher than I thought it would be, but yeah, thanks. Fine. We don't listen to our children, do we?
I'm sorry?
Daisy hated her family and her family hated her. Her grief was for Hogarth because he shot her.
I know.
You do?
Fine, and I worked it out.
You did? Why didn't you tell me?
Because you were out, interviewing Nicholas Ferson.
Yeah, well, kissing the gunner's daughter is a dangerous enterprise.
What?
It's a naval phrase. If a man was going to be flogged, it was done by the master gunner. The man was tied to the cannon on the deck. So, kissing the gunner's daughter was a dangerous enterprise.
there anything you don't know?
No.
I thought so.
Tomorrow night, does a three-legged dog hold the key to solving a murder in Regent's Park? Felicity Kendall and Pam Ferris are on the case. It's Rosemary and Thyme, tomorrow at 9.